Hello, Train Like an Athlete challengers. Uh, as of today, it's, I think, day 16 of our challenge. And we find at this point in a challenge, people start to divide off onto two different paths. And you have to take an honest evaluation right now and decide which side of the path you're on. Everybody thinks that life goes in a straight line, that geometry is at play, and you get from point A to point B. And that's not true. Life curves. Even the universe curves. And nothing, and I mean nothing, is as simple as getting from here to there. So people find themselves either on the success curve, which goes up, or they find themselves on the failure curve, which curves down. And really, a lot of times, which road you are on is determined by your ego. That's right, your ego. And let me tell you, first, before I go any farther in this video, no matter which curve you are on, it can change. You can be on the success curve right now. You're doing great. You've lost 10 pounds. Yeah, you're fitting into some new clothes. You can run a faster mile. And by next week, you can be on the failure curve. You could be on the failure curve where you've missed several workouts in a row. You're not eating what you should. You're going out for drinks for the fourth weekend in a row with friends. And you know what? Tomorrow you could be on the success curve. All depending on where you decide to go from here on out. So I would love for everyone to watch this video, take an honest evaluation of themselves, and make a commitment right now which road you want to be on when it comes to fitness. Because, and I may sound dramatic when I say this, I may sound like I'm overreacting, but studies will show I'm not. Guys, the road that you're on can lead to a healthy life or can lead to death. And even if you manage to live as long as you want to, let's say you live to 90 or 100 or 110, if you're sick and you can't do all the things that you want to because you spent too much time on the failure curve, 30, 40 years earlier, that would really stink. So let's talk today about the emotional ego trip. As a trainer, the number one thing that I hear from those who do Beachbody programs is, oh my God, it's so hard. Seriously. Or I couldn't finish. Or I can't do it. That's what I hear. All the time. All the time. Every day. People look at stuff. Yeah, I watched that video. I can't do that. And really what's talking is their failure curve. It's their emotional ego. Because and by the way, before I proceed any further, number one person here, I got the Insanity DVDs when I signed up as a coach. And this was me the first 3 days watching Shaun T kick butt. I was like this. I looked at my husband and I was like, I am crazy. What was I thinking? I can't do this. But I signed up to be a coach. I kind of had to. And I died. And for the first couple weeks, I couldn't even finish. My husband would come home. He'd find me on the floor, dripping in sweat. Okay? What changed me was I realized that if I didn't experience a certain amount of fear, a certain amount of just getting cut down to size, I was never going to change. I was never going to grow. I was never going to become the person that I planned for myself to be. Because I was going to look at something, see it for what it was, difficult, and I was going to give up. And I didn't want to be that person anymore. I used to be scared of so many things, and I was sick of being scared of my dreams and my goals. And so I put on those insanity DVDs and I did them. And I failed time after time after time. And I would be on the floor, trying to get up, trying to do just stinking 5 push-ups, and I would get to 4 and I'd feel my chest feel like I was gonna explode. And I would be like, you know what? If you're found here dead from a heart attack, at least you died doing something awesome. And I would force myself to do that 5th push-up. But you know why? I got over my ego. You know that voice in your head that says, oh, there's somebody watching me make an absolute fool out of myself right now. Yeah, it's you watching yourself look ridiculous. Because you can't do that dance move, or you can't do that push-up, or you can't run even 100 yards. So you're like sucking wind, looking like an idiot. Get over it. Do it anyway. Do the thing that scares the living crap out of you. Look like a fool. Be a beginner. And love the fact that you're a beginner. Because you've begun. And 90% of the people out there aren't going to attempt to do what you're doing, and that makes them non-doers. They're wishers, they're dreamers, and guess what? You're doing it. So yeah, when your husband comes home and is like, just look at him and say, hey, honey, when you die from a heart attack, I'll make sure I have plenty of life insurance on you. And keep going. When you're collapsed on the floor because you're trying to do that, 3rd, 4th push-up on your toes, and you can't seem to reach that 5th push-up or 9th push-up, or that 1st pull-up, realize that you're on your journey. You're in the beginning of your journey, and that you are going to have so much to celebrate when you finally accomplish it. And half the time, it's your body going into freak out mode, telling you can't do it. And when you ignore it and you do it anyway, and I'm not talking about when you're in pain and like something's popping or clicking, or the doctor has said to you, if you do squats, you will most certainly blow your knee out. No, I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about when every muscle in your body is screaming and saying, oh my God. Then, when your brain says, shut up, muscles, do it anyway, and you do, you're going to have something to be proud of. You're going to get over that emotional ego, that self-preservation, that land of mediocrity that you have allowed to settle in. And you're going to reach for something that is beyond what you can do, and that's the point. You're supposed to reach for what you can't do to make a change. Otherwise, if everybody could do 100 push-ups, there'd be no Olympics. If everybody could do 10 squats, there'd be no hospitals where people had to be treated for certain things and diseases called sitting still. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be something that you can't do right off. Because if you could do it all right away, that would be boring. And you already can do what you're doing now. So why shouldn't you attempt something that you can't finish right away? Do you see what I'm saying? As the saying goes, can you smell what I'm stepping in? Yeah. So, I want you to get off of this video here. I want you to comment in the post below what you can't do, what's been the impossible dream, and then I want you to tell everybody when you're going to accomplish it by and what you plan to do to get there. What you plan to do to get you on that success curve, physically and mentally. How you plan to get over your ego and realize, hey, I can't do 5 push-ups, but guess what? I can do 3. Hey, I can't run a 10-minute mile, but I'm running. I'm going faster than a stroll. Hey, I can't pull myself up on a chin-up bar, but I own a chin-up bar. And every time I walk past it, I hang for 10 seconds. And then I let go. And soon I'm going to hang for 20 seconds. And soon I'm going to pull myself halfway up. And then I'm going to pull myself 3/4 of the way up. You see what I'm saying here? Progression. So, I want you to all comment below how you plan to get to where you need to be, which is where you want to be, and how you plan to get there. How you plan to get over your ego and just do it. Nike's onto something. Guys, train like an athlete because your life, your wishes, your dreams, and your hopes depend on it. Peace.